Zach with Wingard Wearables. You're one of 12 special people who's going to watch this video to the end. And today's video is about what we have in store for 2024. Now, we launched this business in 2018. So 19, 20, 21, 20. So that's 6 years ago. And in that 6-year time, we launched 9 product lines. You got Backripper Tomahawks, Empress Tomahawks, Stingray Tomahawks. We got our Thumper Wear Club. We got our Quill multi-tools, our DickPiks, Micro DickPiks, DickPick MAGNUMS. And, we got the Love Handle out. Thumpers, amazing products. And yet, by December of 2023, we didn't have Backrippers in stock anymore. We sold out of Love Handles and we sold out of DickPick MAGNUMS. So, at that close of the year, at peak holiday sales season, and we were down to like 2/3 of our active product line. So it was not a strong finish in 2023. But 2024 is going to be so much better. And let me tell you why. First, Love Handles, Backripper Tomahawks, and DickPick MAGNUMS are all going to be back very soon. And so you want to be on our email list to get first notice, but they're all coming back. Now, about Backripper Tomahawks, we got good news and bad news. Now, our blacksmith who's been hand forging Backripper Tomahawk heads since 2018, he has informed us last year that he's going to have to move on to other things. And we thought this batch in January was going to be the very last batch of hand-forged Backripper Tomahawk heads. However, he has recently told us that he is willing to make a few more batches for us. And so in the meantime, what we're going to be doing is working on getting our Backripper Tomahawks back later this year, made with a different manufacturing process. We're looking to do lost wax investment cast steel like we do with our Stingray Tomahawks. So the casting process does give us an opportunity to really dial in the Backripper Tomahawk design. But, the hand-forged Tomahawks, there's lots of dimensional variation, and each Tomahawk is individually numbered and unique, and there are going to be very few of them available. Like this upcoming batch, we may have like 10 of them available in this batch, and there'll just be a few more. So the length of time you have to get a hand-forged Backripper Tomahawk head is dwindling. But they will be back, lost wax investment cast, and they will be great. Also in 2024, we are going to be bringing back our Micropike multi-tools. So the Micropike, we launched that in late 2019, and it was really, there was no product out there like that. But it was so unusual looking that it was a slow seller. And so we wound up discontinuing it in 2021. Now, when you launch a new product, there's a principle, a concept in product design called similar but different. You want your product to have elements to it that are familiar to the average person, but also elements to it that are immediately recognizable as unique. So for our Tomahawk designs, they're instantly recognized as Tomahawks and as unusual, never seen a Tomahawk like that before. But with our Micropikes, it was just so unusual in shape and how it was carried. And even though it was very deadly, very ergonomic to carry, very effective, back in 2019, our, reach or following, that sort of thing was tiny. And so me just explaining back in 2019, this unique design, its unique features, that sort of thing, it was still so unlike anything else out there. It failed that similar but different approach. And so it was a real slow seller. So this year, we're hoping to get a very small batch of Micropikes made. Since we discontinued it, we've had several people contact us over that time saying, hey, when is this coming back? Well, it's coming back this year. Small batch. We're going to see how the Micropikes do. If there is more demand for them, we may make more. We may branch out and explore other designs that are in this unique curved form factor of a blade. But yeah, just really exciting to get those Micropike multi-tools back. Definitely stay tuned for more. Also, since we launched this business in 2018 with Tomahawks, all our Tomahawks so far have been spiked Tomahawks, and we've had multiple inquiries asking us, hey, what would you do to make a hammer pole Tomahawk? We really want to see a Wingard Wearables hammer pole Tomahawk. So in 2024, we are pursuing that. Now the market is saturated with hatchet-like things that have a hammer face on them that are marketed as tomahawks. But we noticed a couple of big differences between what is on the market today and the battle-proven hammer pole tomahawks, and also the proven out on the frontier, those bag axes that had a hammer face on them. Those historic proven designs are so much lighter than what's used on the market today. And also, a lot of what's on the market, when you pair that high weight in the head with a concentrated hammer face, it works pretty well on smashing some materials, like shattering some materials, if you're using the percussive impact for damaging things. But it gets frustrating to use in other hammering applications. So for instance, if you go out and make a field expedient wooden stake just from wood you've harvested in the environment, could be a fallen branch or a green sapling, that sort of thing, a concentrated hammer face on a heavy hammer blow, that's going to damage the stake. And if you have gone to the effort of making this and it's got a hooked feature or a forked feature on it, having it makes it more difficult to connect that concentrated hammer face into the wooden stake, cleanly transmit that impact energy into driving it into the ground. It very frequently just results in mechanically damaging it, and in my experience has even resulted in compromising the structural integrity of the stake. So what we want to do with these designs, we're pursuing 3 hammer pole tomahawk designs. We're going to try to sprint to get these prototypes made and see which one can be progressed into a product line. But one of the features we want to have is an option to go between a concentrated hammer face, which is good in some applications, and then a broader percussive impact face, which is better in other applications such as stake driving. Now, it's unlikely these hammer pole tomahawk designs, it'd be like a miracle for one of them to come out late 2024. But look forward to it in 2025, and depending on how progress goes, we may share some of what we're up to this year. Okay, we have a section of content that is most interesting, and I keep screwing it up. This is now what? This will be our third take doing this.
Third or fourth, yeah.
Third or fourth. And now I've decided just to go read from a teleprompter, right? I have my notes in front of me on an iPad that's off screen. I am going to be like a politician that can barely get a sentence out straight, right? Because that's what I was when I was trying to just do it from memory. So I'm just going to look down blatantly and read this information to you because it's that important. Now, in 2024, we are pursuing our first full tang tomahawk, okay? Big exciting news, right? Because everything we've done so far has been wooden handled, mounted to a metal head, right? Now, we've been asked to do full tang tomahawks again and again, and I haven't been a fan of full tang tomahawks in general, so I was hesitant to pursue it. But we did a market survey on what's out there to see if there are any capability gaps. And what we found was full tang tomahawks are expensive, heavy, and rather thin and prone to blade extraction issues, okay? So keep in mind, heavy, expensive, thin, and blade extraction issues. Now, most of what's on the market, these full tang tomahawks, they're cut from steel plates that are 3/16 inch thick up to 3/8 inch thick. They usually weigh well over 20 ounces. Some of them are pushing 30 ounces. And when you compare that to battle-proven tomahawks, that is easily twice the weight of most of what you see out there. So it becomes really sluggish and slow when you're trying to be dynamic with these full tang tomahawks. Now, one of the benefits of full tang, it's a much stronger head handle connection. There's no doubt about it. So you have the ability to baton into a piece of wood and then pry using the handle to break apart wood, say in a bushcraft application. You cannot do that with a wood-handled tomahawk or hatchet. It will quickly break. But the thinner blade stock of full tang tomahawks, that does not work as well in some wedging, splitting type applications. Most of the full tang tomahawks you see on the market, actually all of them, are much thinner than the overall thickness you see on hand-forged tomahawks that have the heads mounted to a wooden handle, right? So a historic wood handle tomahawk, it has a hollow cavity in the head for the tomahawk eye that the handle is inserted into. So when you go from the edge of the tomahawk to the eye region, it flares up in thickness, right? And so that increases the weight towards the head region. It's mounted on a low density wood handle, so you have a high center of mass closer to the edge, shifted to that edge. So you have more efficient energy transfer when you swing that tomahawk into a piece of wood or a person, that sort of thing. Full tang tomahawks don't have that. They're overall heavier. The metal handle shifts the center of mass back, and they're thinner, right? So they can't be used for like splitting through stuff as easily if you don't have that wedge action. Wedging does require a bit of an angle to it, right? Now, the thickness also buys you something for these traditional wood handle tomahawks, because the sides of the head, if they're flat, can project sideways to be hammer faces. That's how you can use like a spike tomahawk to drive wooden stakes. Use the side of the flat sides of the head to pound it in. That's harder to do with some full tang designs, especially if they have the handle scale running up into that region. But our big challenge was, how do we make a full tang tomahawk that is thicker than is on the market today, and capture some of the benefits of those historic tomahawks, yet be lighter and more affordable, right? So that's a big challenge. Now, about price, full tang tomahawks, the vast majority of them, the process that's used to make them is the same process used in stock removal of fixed blade knives. And a tomahawk shape, due to its dimensions, it is much longer and has wide projections compared to a fixed blade knife. That always results in a higher price. To process that, cutting through so much more material, and also not being able to have as much packing density into that material, you're losing a lot more material, which is wasted. You're cutting through a lot more material. It just inevitably costs much more, easily 2 to 3 times the price of a fixed blade knife to get made. And so when you go to these websites of these great businesses that have been in business a long time, making both fixed blade knives and full tang tomahawks, you can see that difference in the price. Like, most of these businesses selling quality, small batch production, fixed blade knives, those knives are $225 to about $450. Yet full tang tomahawks are usually $450 all the way up to over $800. Again, it's just very expensive to make these things. And almost all of these, the steel thickness is constant through the body of the full tang tomahawk, because they are cut out of a plate of steel of a given thickness. It is difficult when you're trapped in that 2D flat space on your metal cutting design to get that center of mass shifted towards the head region, which is better for chopping efficiency, keeping the center of mass closer to the chopping edge. Now, the one exception I can think of that I've handled, the Winkler R&D Tomahawk, it's over $800. Very pricey, but fantastic design process. You can really see the quality of effort that went into it. Now, it is machined so that it's cut out of a 3/8 inch plate steel, but they machined the sides to taper it down in thickness towards the handle region. So that shifts the center of mass closer to the chopping edge. I've examined this design up close. I've talked to guys that have used them. It's really amazing Winkler went to that level of effort when you compare to what most full tang tomahawks are in the market. But I knew that if we could go even thicker in our design, not 3/8 thick, beyond 3/8 thick in thickness, that we could get even better forward center of balance, more mass behind the chopping edge, and better for splitting through certain materials. Now, we have built a couple of prototypes of this design. It is over a 1/2 inch thick in the axe blade region. And then it aggressively tapers down towards the butt of the handle for both mass reduction and to shift that center of mass forward behind the axe blade. We are keeping the overall weight not much beyond a pound. The prototypes so far are almost a 1/2 pound lighter than the Winkler R&D Tomahawk, and we are hoping to be around half the cost. It won't have the extraction issues you see either. The chopping blade extracts amazing. It does not hang up on flesh and bone at all. So we've been testing the design. It is very promising. We are confident it will be launched in 2024 because we have kept this as a secret project going back to when? Like what, 2022? Yeah. So this has been, secret project. Don't tell anybody. Actually, do tell people. There's only 12 people watching this, So anyways, we're just, not showing it to you. You're just going to have to wait, right? But we aren't going to be really cruel. We are going to give you some hints, okay? It has been inspired by historic weapons. It has not been inspired at all by any of the full tang tomahawks you've seen on the market. It'll be a fusion of design features from the European hurlbat, the African hungamungas, and North American, Native American all-iron tomahawks, which were forged from scrap iron materials. They weren't really full tang like you think of it with tomahawks today. It's more of all-metal tomahawk, But you're just going to have to wait to find out what it looks like. I do encourage you to use your imagination, But I'll tell you this. My wife, who is like many men's wives, has a low wife appreciation factor for the aesthetics of a tomahawk. She thinks this design is the most beautiful tomahawk ever made. And I agree. It is amazing. And you will see it in 2024. So very exciting, isn't it? Anyway, I am sensitive to the fact that we have teased cool projects before, and then the projects you didn't hear much about them. So the long Ripper Tomahawk, our take on the smokable tomahawk. We posted a video about that in January 2022, over 2 years ago. And yet there's no long Ripper available right now. So I'm going to give you a quick non-update on the long Ripper. Yes, we are going to make it. No, we haven't made enough progress to share about it. But it is happening. Progress will be made this year, and hopefully enough progress will be made that we can give you an update. But the full tang tomahawk, for real, it's going to happen, okay? Now, we'll also be experimenting with leather, potentially for carry systems, putting our industrial sewing machine to work. And we're going to Blade Show, Hotlanta, 2024, June, early June. We're going to be at Blade Show. Very exciting. We have done a couple of local tabletop shows since our business launched. We did there's an outlaw motorcycle gang, or I knew a guy, he's like, oh yeah, have a table. This is 2018. And then we did a gun show in late 2018. And then we did the Lehigh Valley Knife Show in, I think it was late 2021. And all those went terrible for us. But one thing we were thinking about was gosh, if we do one show a year, if we're going to bother to the trouble of doing one, it might as well be Blade Show. So we're going to do it. We've reached out to people we know that have been to Blade Show, and they've told us their experiences and some of the challenges we will be expecting to experience. So we are going to work towards it. But if you are in the Atlanta area in early June, I forget the dates, I'll put in the dates in comments, go to Blade Show. Check it out. Meet us. If you are not ill, we'll shake your hand. Who knows? Maybe you will be ill. It's okay. The immunity systems need to be strong. But anyways, there are many other efforts in the works. But we are a microscopically small business, very resource constrained, very time constrained. So our perspective is rather limited. So please comment below which of these projects that we're going to be pursuing in 2024 interest you the most. Which one is most exciting? And if you have an idea on what we should be doing instead of what we said we're doing, put it in comments below. Tell us what we are missing. What is a market gap, a capability gap that you have an idea for? Describe it in comments. Tell us how wonderful it is. Please don't be like sword canes. I've heard that a lot. We are thinking, unless it's a really cool sword cane idea. But Other than that, just anything you have, just put it in comments below. Wearable, EDC, weapon type thing, oh yeah, put it in comments. And finally, in 2024, I will be turning 40 years old, okay? I am not feeling the urge to get a divorce or a sports car. My wife tells me I don't even know where the money is to like make the divorce thing happen. And I mean, divorce isn't in the cards. She's just going to poison me someday. But anyways, really looking forward to 2024. You guys, you are one of 12 special people who has watched this video to the end. Please share it with a friend so that 13 people will have watched it. And remember to be edgy.